Hey gamers, Anthony from HNE here, and today we're taking a look at the Magic the Gathering Universes Beyond Transformers cards. Keep in mind this is not the Secret Lair stuff, and I am not a Magic player. I mean, I have a Magic deck, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Magic player. So, a couple of notes. First off, I only have a couple Shattered Glass cards because they're expensive right now. I think the least expensive ones were around $5, and I got the two. The tokens are about the same prices as the two Shattered Glass I got, so, right now the prices are kind of high. Secret Lair, that's a whole other story. Depending on which set you buy, the cards at minimum are $5 each. So, good luck with that. I as a Magic player who just casually has a Magic deck that he really easy can understand because it's simply a burn deck, this is going to be above me. But I figured I'd show you some of these cards. And you can make your own decision if you want to get into Magic to play this stuff and do the Secret Lairs thing. Which Secret Lairs, by the time you watch this, probably already ended. But I'm sure there's going to be resellers and other things happening. So definitely, these cards look cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to try to show this where there's no glare. So I'm going to kind of hold it like this. And if the tail bill drops around, it's because the camera. First off, I'm using the camera's microphone, and second, it is on a table. So, and then the table moves with my arm. So please don't get seasick. Now, I have these in alphabetical order, and then by type. So, RC is sharpshooter. She requires one colorless, one red, one white, and then more than meets the eye is her move, and she gets first strike. It takes a fire or a red and a I guess that's a white, yeah. And then, was that a white, or is that anything? See, it tells you how good I am at Magic. Yeah, not very. So, it says, remove one or more +1 minus, or +1/+1 counters from RC, and it deals that much damage to the target creature, and then convert RC. So, RC converts into her car mode. And, for example, hers says living metal. As long as it's your turn, this vehicle is also a creature. And whenever you cast a spell on the target's one or more creatures, vehicles you control, you can put as many 1/+1 counters on RC, convert RC, which then turns it back to here. I feel like because I don't understand everything Magic related here, I'm probably not going to show everything or explain everything because I honestly don't. And my understanding is. Like some of these cards, particularly in the Secret Lair, are reuses of previous cards, and maybe they changed the names. So I am not the person to tell you what the difference is, but definitely there's Magic the Gathering channels you can certainly find. So we're gonna put her aside here, and then the next one is Blaster, and for some reason I could only find him in his foil form. And he looks pretty cool. He got a whole lot of more than meets the eye thing going on. He got, I guess there says non-token artifact creatures and vehicles you control have a modular one. I don't know what any of this means. It says whenever you put one or more +1/+1 counters on Blaster, convert it. And I feel like that might be a common mechanic. Not all of them. No, okay. Only a couple of them have that. Okay, so he converts, and then you get his tape deck mode. And it says modular 3, and then it tells you to move stuff. Again, not a Magic guy, no idea. And I'm going to try to stop repeating that because you don't need to hear that. Next up, Blitzwing Cruel Tormentor. And again, it has more than meets the eye. It has the 3 black on here. And then it says at the beginning of your step, target opponent loses life equal to the life the player lost this turn. If no life was lost this way, convert Blitzwing, and then he, of course, goes into his, it looks like, it shows his tank and his jet, so it kind of has both, and then, of course, he also has living metal, and it says, whenever Blitzwing deals combat damage to a player, convert it, and then in the center it says, at the beginning of combat, your turn, choose flying or indestructible at random. Blitzwing gains the ability until the end of the turn. So you get a choice of 1 or 2 abilities. Now we'll put him up here. Next up is Cyclonus, and Cyclonus says more than meets the eye again. This time he uses water and black, white and black. blue and black, and you go, why do you keep saying water and fire? Because I'm a Pokemon player, hence the playmat. Anyway, whenever Cyclonus deals damage to a player, it connives. I don't know what that means. Then Cyclonus' power is 5 or greater, convert it. He, of course, Cybertronian fighter jet. Otherwise, it says just fighter. Maybe he isn't. I mean, because he's not technically a jet. Jet's an Earth thing, you know. A living metal. He flies, and whenever he deals damage to a player, convert it. If you do, and there is an additional beginning phase after this phase, so you get a little extra turn there. I guess that's what that means. So we are going to go right into Flame War here. I do have double of some of these cards. And thanks to Level 2 Games for hooking me up. You can check out a link to them in the description. So that's Level 2 Games. And Jeff, the owner, real nice guy, definitely will hook you up. Anyway, so we got Flame War, and of course she got more than meets the eye, and she's red and black. Sacrifice another artifact +1/+1 counter on Flame War and convert it. Activate only as a sorcery, and then it says discard your hand, put all exile cards into your intel counters on them and into your hand. Transforming. She gets if you collect the Transformers action figures, you would see that they just released her first vehicle as this kind of a RC recolor, which is frankly, it's fine. It's a nice looking bike. She has Menace and Death Touch, which means moment of touching, the character's destroyed, or the card or whatever. Anyway, whenever Flamer deals combat damage to player, exile that many cards from the top of your deck, your library face down. Put an intel counter on each of them. Convert Flamewar. So, next up, we have Goldbug. And you'll notice, especially with Slicer too, Goldbug and Slicer aren't Bumblebee and Ratchet because they needed, I guess, to focus on the Shattered Glass forms. And they needed common names, so that way, I guess, the characters work. I'm not quite sure why it was something they had to do that way. Again, more than meets the eye, but this time it's white and blue, and to prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to attacking humans you control. I like the fact that it says attack. Of course, you're playing against humans. Whenever you cast your second spell, each turn convert Goldbug. And of course, he changes into his Beetle. And again, living metal, and then says human spells you control can't be countered. And then whenever Goldbug, at least one human attacks, draw a card and convert Goldbug. So that's pretty nifty. And I want to bring out Jetfire. I sounded like I was doing Pokemon. Anyway, more than meets the eye, he is, looks like just colorless water. Again, water. Colorless blue. And he's flying. Remove one or more plus counters from among artifacts you control. Target player adds that much. I don't know what that little pyramid there, that little four-part sideways square thing means. Mana can't be spent on artifact spells. Convert Jetfire. He converts into his jet thing. Living metal again, of course, flying, and then for 3 blue, convert, then adapt 3. I don't know what that adapt means. Again, not a Magic player. So, surprisingly, Megatron and Optimus's cards, they're almost $5 at the time of recording. This is literally the last day, 2022. And you figured they'd be more expensive. I mean, if you look at the Secret Lair cards, and you're only getting them, but Megatron and Optimus, and you're getting the Vecta Sigma, and you're basically paying $10 a card for those 3 cards for that particular $30 set. Anyway, more than meets the eye, he is red, white, and black. Your opponent can't cast spells during combat. At the beginning of your post-combat main phase, you can convert Megatron. If you do, add whatever that means. For 1 life to each opponent have lost them. And then, here we go in tank mode. And whenever Megatron attacks, you may sacrifice another artifact. And when you do, Megatron deals damage equal to sacrifice artifact's mana, equal to, but it's a lot of reading, equal to the value of the target's creature. If excess damage would be dealt to the creature in that way, instead the damage is dealt to the creature's controller, and you convert Megatron. Wow, that's a lot for, just basically attacking the opponent. Here's Optimus. And he is red, white, and blue, obviously, because if you look at Megatron's colors, him being red, white, and black, it kind of makes sense. So at the beginning of each step, bolster 1, It says choose a creature for at least toughness among creatures you control, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So at least some of these do explain what those mean. When Optimus dies, well, that's kind of funny. Return it to the battlefield, convert it under its owner's control, and here we go. It's kind of weird that he has to die, but okay. Trample, so he can run over other things. Whenever you attack, bolster 2, the chosen creature gains trample until the end of the turn. When that creature deals combat damage to a player's turn, convert Optimus Prime. So we go to Prowl, and he is white, obviously. Whenever Prowl attacks, exile up to another target tapped creature or vehicle for as long as the card remains exiled. Its owner may play it. Whenever your player draws a card with exiled with Prowl, you could draw a card and convert Prowl. And then here he is in his classic police car form. This is a Japanese police car, obviously. Now, when another creature or vehicle controls the battlefield under your control, put a 1/+1 counter on Prowl. If this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, convert Prowl. So, yerp. Ratchet. He is also white. He has lifelink, which I believe has something to do with, sharing life among cards. Don't quote me on that. Whenever you gain life, you may convert Ratchet. When you do, return target artifact card with mana value less than or equal to the amount you gained in life this turn from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Or something. I've read it out of order. Lifelink again. Whenever one or more non-token artifacts you control are put into the graveyard from this battlefield, or from the battlefield, convert Ratchet. This ability triggers only once per turn. So, there you go. Next up, so this is again like Goldbug. Slicer is technically Ratchet, or not Ratchet, but I don't know, some Ratchet Wheeljack. And so Goldbug's Bumblebee, Slicer's Wheeljack. He is red, a double strike and haste. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you may have the player gain control of Slicer until the end of the turn. If you do, untap Slicer, goad it. Okay, and it can't be sacrificed this turn. If you don't, convert it. And then here he goes in his Shattered Glass colors. I mean, because both of them, Goldbug and him are in Shattered Glass colors. I think his colors in Shattered Glass are actually pretty cool. I actually like Goldbug in his Shattered Glass colors, but they do the classic Goldbug for this particular card. So, again, I don't understand the real logic behind it. And if you know, go ahead and post it in the comments. Living Metal. As long as it's your turn, this vehicle is also a creature. First strike haste. Whenever Slicer deals combat damage to player, convert it at the end of combat. And then we end up back at his first form. Soundwave. He is blue, white, and black. Whenever one or more creature tokens you control deal damage to the player, exile target instant or special card with mana equal value to the damage from their graveyard. Copy it. You may cast the copy without paying the mana cost. If you do, convert Soundwave. And then he's in his classic tape deck mode. And whenever you cast a spell odd mana value, convert Soundwave. If you do, create Ravage, a legendary 3/3 black. Black robot artifact creature token, menace and death touch. Here is Ravage. Manage. This is menace and death touch. Whenever you cast a spell, even with an even mana value, convert Soundwave. If you do, create Laserbeak, legendary 2/2 blue robot creature artifact with flying and hexproof. And then we get Laserbeak, as you see, as flying and hexproof. Now, these cards are not double-sided. They look like this. So they're kind of advertising Secret Lair, but they're also tokens. So you're not playing them in a deck anyway. They're kind of off to the side, I think. And we're going to put these guys away. And hope you didn't think... They really should have had Grimlock in here, and I don't know why they don't. Because, there's the big 7 they have to have. Optimus, Megatron, Starscream, Grimlock, Bumblebee, Prowl, and I forget there's one, Soundwave, I guess is the other one maybe. So Starscream, of course, is black. Whenever you draw a card, if you're the Monarch, target opponent loses 2 life. Whenever one or more creatures deal combat damage to you, convert Starscream. And of course, he's in his classic Jet mode. So flying, menace, and haste. Whenever Starscream deals combat damage to a player, if there is no Monarch, that player becomes the Monarch. Whenever you become a Monarch, convert Starscream. So, then finally, in the standard non-Shadow Glass forms, Ultra Magnus. It's weird that there's no Rodimus or Hot Rod here. But he is red, green, and white, which is weird because you feel like it'd be red, blue, and white. But I guess because Optimus was, they made it different. He's a ward, 2, whatever that means. Whenever Ultra Magnus attacks, you may put an artifact creature from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. If you do, convert Ultra Magnus into combat. And he is in his classic car carrier form. And you see the proper color of Wheeljack, but then you also see sideways? Yeah, sideways. So, anyway, he has haste, he's formidable. Whenever Ultra Magnus attacks, attacking creature you control gains indestructibility on the turn. If those creatures total power of 8 or greater, convert Ultra Magnus. So now we get into the 2 Shattered Glass cards. As I said, they're a little expensive. I mean, these are the least expensive of all of the entire Shattered Glass, because every one of these guys, for the exception of the 2 tokens, have a Shattered Glass forms. I'm pretty sure the tokens don't have Shattered Glass forms. But, so Blitzwing is, oh, and speaking of, before I remember, this is Goldbug's actual Shattered Glass coloring. Okay, not the gold, like, you know, the Bumblebee 2.0 coloring. Anyway, his color is black. It's more, let's see, at the beginning of each step, target opponent loses life equal to the life the player lost this turn. If no life was lost this way, convert Blitzwing. And then, of course, he has his jet mode rather than his tank mode in this one. Living Metal, at the beginning of combat on your turn, choose flying or indestructible at random. Blitzwing gains that ability on the turn. Whenever Blitzwing deals combat damage to a player, convert it. Goldbug says E is white and blue, which is the same color he is in the other card. And of course, Blitzwing was the same color, black, in the other card as well. But anyway, Goldbug says, prevent all combat damage that would have dealt attacking humans you control. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, convert Goldbug. And here he is in the Shattered Glass proper colors. Human spells you control can't be countered. Whenever Goldbug and at least one human attack, draw a card and convert Goldbug. I am not understanding the human thing, but whatever. And that is it for what I have of these cards, and I think they look awesome. On that side note, I wish they would have kept the Transformers card game going. The TCG I thought was fun, but it was getting a little too bulky. They could have stopped with the Headmaster's gimmick and the Weapon Master's gimmick and kind of just rolled with it and do maybe something more Pokemon-esque. But because of the pandemic, people weren't buying it, and of course, after the 5th set, it ended. This is a nice kind of like, hey, here's something a little collectible. It's still cards, and you know, that's fine.
With that said, tell me in the comments your thoughts on these items. Did you get them, and how was your experience with them? Thanks for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.